Halloween is over, everyone. Sad, sad, depressing. Family has left, and now I must play movie catch up. This is my review of Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension in 3D, which I did not see in 3D, thankfully. But I was curious enough to see it because I was a fan of this franchise, at least with the first four movies. Then we got a break, and then we got a side sequel with the Mark ones, which I didn't like. I didn't hate, but I didn't like it at all. And now we have supposedly the final one, and I'm guessing this one actually is Paranormal Activity 5. Though it's going to be confusing, they'll probably just call this one 5.5 or whatever. I mean, they just went and forgot the 5 altogether with this title and just call it The Ghost Dimension, because this one actually, it's a sequel, and it has to do with the other films, mainly Part 3, which is my favorite one when we went to the 80s, where somehow they had HD cameras in the 1980s, but I liked the thrills and chills and scares in that one. I enjoyed the third one, so this one is kind of tied to the third one. It takes place in Santa Rosa. I think we're the end of the third one, whatever. But at this time, it's 2013. We get to know a young family. They have a daughter. The father's brother comes and he's visiting them. And then I think the wife has a sister who's hot and beautiful. And I think I've seen her in some other movies before. She was like the only one that I noticed well, there's other reasons why I noticed her. She's beautiful. Anyways, so they find this camera. They've been living there. This married couple has been living there for a while, but they find this box. There's all these tapes of what happened in the 1980s, and there's this magical camera, thanks to the plot, that can see the demons, the ghost dimension. They don't really explain how it works, and thankfully they don't. They just show that, hey, this camera has more to it than most cameras have, especially from that time period in the 1980s. And so, because it's Paranormal Activity, they set up cameras again in this house. There's night 1, night 2, night 4, night 6, whatever. But they also use this camera, and with this camera, they can actually finally see the ghost dimension. And through that, there's 3D things that happen that I was like, okay, if I saw this in 3D, there would probably a really cool 3D moment right there. But I'm really glad that I did not see this in 3D. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't rush to go see this movie, because if this is the end, good. This is not a good ending to this series, which I felt was pretty solid for the first 3 films. And I was giving it the benefit of the doubt with the 4th one, but with the side 5th one, whatever that one was, the Mark ones, I was like, okay, this is really dying. This series is got to end soon. And they say, the producers say, the filmmakers say that this is the final film. And I will say thank you for ending it finally with this final movie. This is not a terrible movie, though. I did like some elements to it. I didn't really care about the humans involved or the setting, though I do like that it was tied into the third movie a little bit. When they go back into the third film, or I should say what happened after the third film, and show the footage, I did recognize this actor that was playing, maybe he was head of this cult that was manipulating these girls to bringing Toby, this demon, whatever, back. And then how it tied in with the new film was interesting, and interesting enough to get me to care enough about what was happening in this film. But what really held my attention was the gimmick of this magical camera. Thanks to the plot, we can actually see the computer-generated, which I thought were okay, images of the creature, or whatever this thing is, this entity, this evil demon, this thing. And there are some nice images through that kept it interesting enough to get through this less than 90-minute film. I'm just glad it's over. If they're saying it's over. But these movies are really cheap, and I think it bombed at the box office, so it didn't make the money back, or it probably made the money back, but not enough to warrant more of these films. I think the audience has now officially got tired. I have gotten tired of this genre, though I will miss it somewhat because I did enjoy going, I think, part 3 and almost part 4 I went to Paramount. I didn't go to part 4 to Paramount, but it was kind of fun to go to the theater and see the film with an audience and scream and all this stuff. But this one, I had kind of waited. I did wait, and there was probably 5 people in the theater, and there was no screaming, no scary moments. There wasn't really any scary moments with this film. Usually I might jump a little bit, react just a little bit. I don't overreact when I see a Paranormal Activity movie. But thanks to the audience screaming and all that experience of that, you know, the funhouse experience, when you go to a funhouse and you go as a bunch of friends and something scares somebody, through that you might be scared. That didn't happen this time, so I would have to say it wasn't a really fun experience to watch this movie. But I like some of the creepy things that happen in the film that held my attention to get me through the movie, to end this all, to be like, okay, good, this is the final one, let's move on, and hopefully the horror genre can come up with something, a different kind of gimmick, you know, original idea to span many sequels, or maybe now that Paranormal Activity is done, the Saw series, which was killed by the Paranormal Activity series, will now come back and will now get more Saw movies. But as someone who is not a huge fan of the horror genre, I would love something original. Even if it's a found footage movie, a new found footage movie, that's something that is original, that takes the found footage genre into a new place, if that is possible. So, goodbye, Paranormal Activity movies. Thank you for being a part of the movie history universe, and now I'm ready to move on. And so I rate Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. I'm going to give it a kind rating because I was entertained a little bit, enough to enjoy the experience, and for that I'm going to give Ghost Dimension, Paranormal Activity 5,000, 6,000, whatever this movie actually is called. I'm going to give the film 2.5 stars out of 4. There you go. Thank you. Goodbye. Talk to you later. Love you all. Peace out. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.